Chapter 3. The jeeps disappear. Riders splay out into the unknown. My pony is slow. We fall from group to group until we're alone. He plods up a rise in the land, 1 hour in. I will call him Broly, after the leg, because of his speed to the umbrella at the start. Gelatinous disc of a jellyfish is a dictionary's fourth meaning for umbrella, and Broly now drifts in jellyfish fashion, awaiting a current to carry us. Wild horses often move with the weather. With no coming storms to bluster his backside, Broly and I fall so far behind I can't even see any dots of riders ahead. Where to go? I was hoping to follow someone. Every minute I scan the horizon in search of the next station. I almost lose my balance taking in the transparent distances. I can see only sun. Her heat is swelling me. I feel I no longer fit inside my body. Apparently, the horse stations or urtus are formed by two or three white gurs and a horse line. Earlier in the summer, the Derby's head horseman, Unenburen Undimbat, traveled the steppe with race organizers to ask families if they could bring 30 to 40 ponies together to create an urtu. Some families have as many as 200 horses and can create a station single handedly. Others team up with neighboring families. On the days when the riders are expected to arrive, the selected ponies wait around the Urtu horse lines, and the families charge the organizers for each pony competitor's ride. As far as I can tell, there are no Urtus in sight. I'd imagined the medieval postal system the races recreates as a series of stations spaced according to the contours of the country. I thought I might always be able to see the next one on the horizon. From my denim vest pocket, I unleashed the cumbersome Garmin eTrex GPS, a thing like a mobile phone from the 1990s, coated in gray rubber with a small screen. I have been too scared to turn it on in case my very touch tampers with its high strung technology heart. Now it is blinking to life and rudely suggesting we're only a quarter of the way to the first station. It must be past lunchtime when my pony and I head out to the plain towards a mountain range. Sweat is dribbling over my eyelids, and the cross strap backpack is digging into my ribs. I have run out of water. My mouth is dry. I think of lancing Broly's veins and drinking his blood, Mongol warrior style. Genghis Khan and comrades rode horses to near death on the campaign trail. But as we trotter on, old Khan is forgotten. The medieval recreation seems a farce. At the level of each beating hoof, this race, superlatively long and tough, might turn out to be chronologically ordinary. We're just trotting a path through grass. Broly is thirsty too. The map book instructs us to seek water in wells, rivers, lakes, ponds, springs, and waterholes, none of which we've passed. I sneak a sesame snap from my pocket and munch in rhyme to Broly's trot. Then I look at my watch again. 5 minutes since I last looked at it. Time becomes a tool for passing time itself. As we curve each valley corner, we set the plains behind us free. Grasslands pull the summerscape in every direction. Green, green, gulping us up. Where the grass ceases, blue sky begins, translucent and bold. Blue and green should not be seen without a color in between, begins my mother, babbling in my head wherever I go. Blue and green should be seen, she carries on, reminding me of the philosophy behind her jewelry making, which carries emeralds to sapphires at every opportunity. Broly, a young soul under old fur, is ever slower. Just a horse race. Don't be silly. Between each or two are roughly 40 kilometers, and I have no idea how far that really is. It will turn out to be neither here nor there at the bottom of the page if it is nestled far outside this rectangle. I rise up, I sit down. I rise up, I sit down. 1,000 beats of trot, and still the scenery won't shift. Nor are there any nooks or lonesome trees for me to chat to. As soon as I'm tempted to get upset, the undetailed land sits on my drama, as if to say, I don't give a damn. Broly and I are mere passers-by, a train of bad thoughts. He blows through his nose most beats. I snort in agreement. Forgive me for asking, long girl, but would you allow someone to balance on your back in this manner? God, no. I'd rather die. I would. Than be possessed like this? Well, I'm not sure I really like being aboard a horse either. I can't believe it's taken all these years to hit me again, my original sentiment. It's visible in a photo of me age 3 on Costa, my cousin's Shetland's pony. I should stare boldly over that pony's head, carefree niece of a champion, but my eyebrows were swept together in a frown. I want to return to the ground where my brothers stand, flanking Costa's shoulders. To be up here in this pose is strange and exhausting. Legs strained, back stiff, knees hinged. We enter a burnt valley, green grass paled to yellow, earth chapped and bare. A series of creases form the unreachable hills ahead. So, this was how racing would be? A serious struggle, or perhaps an unserious struggle. If I did manage to finish, I was probably going to be last. Nothing I minded when it came to exams, but I couldn't stand the idea of it in a race. Apparently, the matter in our bodies only makes up a tiny speck of dust. It has something to do with the distances between our atoms being so vast as the distances between Urtus. To the people I wrote to before departure, pleading for charitable donations, I was exactly this, I suppose, a tiny speck among other bunched specks. I hated the idea that I could be seen now, even in minuscule form, as I rode. I wanted to purge myself from the radar. Was anyone I knew even looking at the tracking map? I told my charitable sponsors that 40% of riders never make it to the finish. Some of my parents' friends had taken the trouble to write encouraging notes like, I do hope you don't get a sore behind. As the hours rolled by, voices leaked in, the future's past tense voices. What stories would they pluck from the skies if and when I disappeared from the map? Her armpit hair grew too long. She missed the plums and her father's blackened toast, his figure by the slowly roaring fridge. My journey aboard this first horse climaxes when I enter a silent tantrum. Perhaps I believe this tantrum will offer escape, that it will transport me home, where I shall strip my wallpaper, sharpen all the pencils, and lavish myself in mundane things that could have been just as exciting as this race if only I'd used my imagination. I can't be sure where I can't be sure we're going the right way. The GPS is not clear, much less the landscape. I look about the valley and wonder where I'm headed, and indeed where my head is. How much of us is really moving forward if Broly has already given up? After swinging south of the mountain range, the cat is truly out of the bag. He hates this. I get off and walk next to him. At home, the pain of animals makes me shiver. When the dog whines after stealing too much salted butter, or falls ill with testicle pain, or when my brother Arthur taunts me with, I'm going to put Hammy in the oven, and I shriek over the fictitious fate of my hamster. Now at the center of a signless valley, I can offer no solution to the gray pony at my side. As we go like treacle towards the hill, I relax out of my tantrum into a more bland potato state of mind. For some minutes, I relocate myself in June, back when I was looking forward to this race with such romantic ideas of dancing ponies on blankets of green and of dazzling scenes in legs so keen. I don't know which wise man coined the saying, life begins outside your comfort zone. But Broly and I have proven him wrong. Life, whatever that is, has gotten a wagon load worse. Stuck in a sludgy slow motion, still walking at Broly's side, I move with my usual stomach ache and dull thoughts of a missed lunch. Quitting the, quitting the expectation game, one horse at a time. We're 2 kilometers from the station when a herder in a maroon cloak trots into our universe. He makes choppy gestures for me to remount, so I wing my legs back onto Broly, whose eyes are now surrounded by gunk. The man leans over to whip my dear plod every stride. I see how his technique keeps Broly trotting and question why I didn't use it too. The Urtu ahead is formed on a lull of earth that rises to tumbling rock formations. A steppe town glistens on the heat-waved horizon. At the Urtu, I will hand Broly over to the vets for assessment. Because our leg has taken 5 hours, the other riders will be gone by the time we arrive. Propped on a bank before the station is a Soviet era campervan. An interpreter and a paramedic crouch at its wheels, hiding from the sun, perhaps thinking, yeah, here comes another rider. I am just a piece of driftwood floating down the stream. Am I the last? I ask. They're surprised I didn't know. Yes, apart from Matthias.